First off, once again, there's a number that's been thrown around that unfortunately one of the trustees up here voiced. But that number, I don't know where it originated from, and it's nowhere that I'm aware of. We're going to address that a little bit further. There were a couple other things that were said that were inaccurate, and we're going to address those further too regarding that particular topic. Now, let's talk about the lawsuit first. It was a couple, 3 items that this board agreed that we would not fight against for the sake of the college, for accreditation, cost analysis. And so we agreed to that and we submitted that back to the court. No problem. We think we're done. But the opposing counsel and the person on the other side of that lawsuit comes back over the top, and instead of accepting that victory and that win and walking away, added a number of more things. Our attorney phrased in court, it was something like, finish the race, won the race, then go, hey, I want a new car, I want an extra pair of new shoes, I want a bigger trophy, I want all the rest of that. I already run the race, and now I'm going to tell you all the other things I want. I think at that point, the board had to rethink their position and relook at where we were at on this. And quite frankly, I think it was like getting a chicken bone caught in your throat. I think the over-the-top stuff, and with Judge Meyer being and I'll speak to her a little more in a second. No, that was not acceptable. And that's not what we agreed to. And that's not what we unanimously voted to. So everybody needs to understand that they changed the conditions of what we agreed to after we agreed to them. One last little throw, which was abnormal at best, and our attorneys thought inappropriate. I'm done with that. Because that's what's here. I'm going to talk about the press a lot today. I got a lot of good things for you guys. The falsehoods that you perpetuate, we have a lot of fiction writers, and you must have a lot of space to fill in here. Some of the people get just miles of ink. A couple of folks are in this audience. I'll speak to that too. We want to get to some truth. It'd be nice if the narrative wasn't trying to be set in advance on all these topics. It's like if you shout it out there first, and if you can say it first, even if it's untrue and it's a fabrication or a falsehood, but it sticks. It's been talked about how the lie goes around the world before the truth even gets off the doorstep. And there's a real battle for the narrative. And I'll confess, I know I'm not good at it. I've been followed. I'm stalked. People are watching all my Facebook. You take pictures of me, you view me, and you say all these things about me, but you never have any evidence of anything. But yet all these things seem to stick. I'll speak about some of that. It's amazing the things I've been accused of, some of which I don't even understand or even know what they are, which is fine, I guess, but we ought to put some of that to rest. And I know there's a response here that's been generated to you guys that's going to try to put a couple of those things to rest, because again, I've been accused of a couple of things today that are not true from the up there. And I know those were intended towards me. When somebody accuses me falsely, like a Dan Gukin of assault, and then the video evidence proves that he was the aggressor, and I'm standing there with my glasses in my hand trying to calm him down, 20-year friendship, and he's all the way out to his car screaming and yelling, and in the church dropping F-bombs in front of one of their young female employees. It's so egregious, and he wastes the time of the Coeur d'Alene police and the Kootenai sheriff, but it's so bad they don't even interview me. They immediately dismiss it, but then they cover it in a way so that they don't have to accuse him of filing a false charge. It was really interesting how that all went down. So they spent all that time, they went and did interviews, they got the four videos, and they do all that, and the paper hits it front page above the fold. Todd Banducci, yeah, that's a nice face, thank you. My small children make that, like my grandchildren. But did you see the retraction when they said it was so obvious that the trustee Todd Banducci was not the aggressor, in fact, moved twice so that Dan wouldn't run into me as he was trying to storm away, as I was just trying to calm him down. And why was I having a conversation with him? Because at the Lincoln Day dinner, he tried to sit at a table that was already reserved with people there, including a 60-something woman and an 80-year-old something woman, that he dropped F-bombs on because people told him it was a reserved table already, and he and his lady with him couldn't sit there, and they tried to accommodate him somewhere else. So he got mad, throws a napkin at him, drops F-bombs, and storms out of there. And I wasn't even standing there, but it was told me what happened. It happened to be my reserved table, ironically, and it happened to be a couple of my family members. So he passes me in the hall, and I say hi. I have no idea what's going on, and he, insults me on the way out. So there's the story, but where is that in the newspaper? See, this thing has been so one-sided, and so you guys go off all this information. We're being rude. Christy Wood gets pages and pages. I got enough here to show, I mean, volumes. So supposedly my conversation with Brad Corporal, just at the end of that table the other night, becomes I yelled at him in the lobby aggressively and did something out in the lobby. Now, if that's the lobby, Christy, you weren't a very good police officer because you've been hard to explain the crime scene, because that's not the lobby. And I wasn't yelling, but that it's all in here. It's amazing. So you guys keep coming at us. You're the employees. In the corporate world, employees give feedback when they're asked. Sometimes it's unsolicited. Sometimes there's a way to do that, but then you just keep doing your job. In the military, you have a chance for some feedback, but at a certain point, it becomes just insubordination. And that's what this has become. So, do your jobs and be thankful for them. And we'll do our part and you guys do your part, and be more civil to this. My point is that
Security.
My point, sir, is that you're not civil. Am I being uncivil? Am I using bad language?
President Swain, will you please give us another one?
Go ahead.
Child.
Are we going to move quickly?
Well, I'll short from this part, but the point is there's all these things that are being brought up and tossed at us, but these issues are more complex and they're more nuanced. There's a whole lot more background, and unfortunately that background is not getting out. So I would suggest to people, try to get all the information before you jump to conclusions and get violent and ugly and hostile and say all these terrible things. Again, if I was doing some of the things you're saying I'm doing, you'd have me on film, or you'd have evidence of it, or you'd be able to prove it. But the accusations and the character assassination get really old. They really do. So that's where I'm going to go right here with this, about how we're coming at it. And here's the last thing. If you have the formula to how to buy out a president's contract, please bring it to me, or bring it to us. Okay? You keep asking us to buy out a president's contract. So tell me how you do it.